Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shyam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Seeking everyone's blessings and all the assembled Vaishnavas' blessings. With your blessings and for the sole purpose to please the Lordship Shishir Gaurantai Mayapur Shashi, Shri Tulsinath Maharaj, Shri Giridhari Lal, Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas, that we can take some inspiration from Srimad Bhagavatam and prayers that I become the first listener of this transcendental pastime. So maybe I will just run this pastime through and come to this point, like fascinating. Krishna himself is saying, Aham bhakta paradhino hi aswatantra iva dija. Sadhu vir grasta hridayo bhaktir bhakta janapriya. So Krishna is, he's saying here that I am completely I'm completely under the control of my devotee. I'm not independent. I'm completely dependent. So what comes to this position that Krishna is bound to say this? So with your permission, let me take this opportunity and we a bit run through the past time. So as it happens, Ambarish Maharaj, a pure devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, him and his family were observing the Ekadashi, and on the following day, the Dwadashi, they were feeding Brahmanas and all during the breakfast time. They were feeding Brahmanas and everyone, all the assembled guests, and very happily, joyously, they were feeding them. And then they were about to break their fast, Ekadashi fast. And that is when then Durvasa Muni, sage Durvasa, happens to appear there, happens to come there. And Ambarish Maharaj, knowing that Durvasa Muni has come, he receives him with folded hands, Durvasa Muni, and he requests Durvasa Muni, the sage, to offer some prasadam, to accept some prasadam. And Durvasa Muni says, yes, I will surely take prasadam, but for now, let me first go take bath and do my rituals and offer my prayers. and then I will come and take some prasadam. So Ambarish Maharaj says, okay, as you so desire. So Durvasa Muni then goes to have his bath, and while his bath, Durvasa Muni, he gets a bit into a trance or a bit into absorption, and he kind of forgets or gets out of his mind, say, that how much time has passed by. And actually, it is the day of Dwadashi, and the fast breaking time is approaching nearer. So Ambarish Maharaj, he's a bit of in say a flux of what to do. Should I break the fast, or should I not? So he wants to honor the festival of Ekadashi and all the assembled guests, and he wants to break the fast as well. And at the same time, he's very careful and cautious that he, by the will of providence, or say by the arrangement of Lord Shri Krishna, Durvasa Muni has come in this assembly. So he wants to at first Durvasa Muni be fed to his full satisfaction, and then take prasadam. So in this, should I take, shouldn't I, what to do? After some discussion with assembled brahmanas as well. So, and what the scriptures say, Ambarish Maharaj, he drinks some water. He drinks water, and it is considered that drinking water could be considered as, okay, breaking the fast as well, and at the same time not taking grains as well, or not breaking the fast in that sense. So from all perspective, he tries to respect the assembled brahmanas as well, the vow of Ekadashi and the vow of Ekadashi festival, and also not hurt in any way as such to Durvasa Muni. And what happens when Durvasa Muni, when he's having his bath, he, through his mystic power, he can see, he gets to know that Ambarish Maharaj has actually drank water, or he has actually broken his fast, or he actually had something before I got a chance to have something. And he told me that I'm waiting for you, I'll wait for you. Please take your bath and your rituals and your religious ceremony and process, and then please come and I will be waiting for you, I would serve you. So Durvasa Muni, he gets offended that how come? So then he says, okay, let me come out of it. So he comes out of his bath and the process, and then he goes back to Ambarish Maharaj, see Ambarish Maharaj. And he approaches Ambarish Maharaj, and Ambarish Maharaj is standing there very happy to receive Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni, when he approaches, he's a bit more than a bit, I would say, he's with anger. And his facial expression also changes quite a lot. For what reason? That Ambarish Maharaj drank some water to honor the festival of Ekadashi. And he wasn't fed first, or he wasn't given first. So Durvasa Muni gets quite offended, and which is clearly evident or seen through his facial expression. And he says some words as well to Ambarish Maharaj on his not honoring, say, his words. How could you? This is not the etiquette. This is not the way. You shouldn't have drunk, and this is like insulting, or you're not setting good example, on those lines. And he went a bit further, and what he did is, from his matlogs, from his hair, he manifested, or he appeared a demon called Kritya. He appeared a demon, and with the intention that the demon kills Durvasa Muni, or gives him a harsh punishment, so that he knows for his mistake, he learns for his mistake, he accepts that this is a gross mistake he has committed. Shishikarantai Mayapurusha Shiki. So then the demon appears, and he's approaching Ambarish Maharaj. And around that time, exactly around that time, Lord Krishna's Sudarshan disk appears. Lord Krishna's Sudarshan disk comes right there and kills the demon, actually, and kills the demon. And then the Sudarshan disk goes on to following Durvasa Muni. Goes on to following Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni, he struggles, he isn't at all able to bear the heat coming from the disc, from the Sudarshan Chakra. And Durvasa Muni just doesn't stand there for any longer or any moment as such, and he runs away from there. He runs away from there and he goes far, far, and he runs through caves, mountains, gardens, wherever he can manage to actually, lakes, rivers, oceans, but the disc is continuously following him at a very short distance, continuously following him, and he's continuously getting heated or fired up by the power of the disc. So much so that he's struggling, and he then goes to different planets, the lower planetary systems, the higher planetary systems, to Indraloka. So he goes to Indraloka, and therein he goes and he says, please save me, please help me. Why? What's happened? Oh, I'm being followed by the disc. And okay, but why? What happened? Oh, such and such thing happened. And Ambarish Maharaj, he drank a bit of water, and this and that happened, and this disc appeared. And now I'm being chased by this disc. Please save me. So the demigods, the authorities in the higher planetary systems, they all close their doors. They say, sorry, we cannot help you in this matter at all. No, please let us out of it, and you may please see what best you want to do. So then Durvasa Muni leaves from there. He goes even higher, further up, and all the way to Brahmaloka, and meets Lord Brahma. And he again prays Lord Brahma as well. So Lord Brahma says, I am sorry, I cannot help you in this matter at all. And you better leave the disc. I don't want the Brahmaloka to be burned down by this disc, by the fire coming from this disc. So please move, please leave. And Durvasa Muni, he's so panting, he's short of breath, and he's sweating, so much sweating. And then he goes to Lord Shiva. When he reaches Lord Shiva, when he reaches the abode of Lord Shiva, he's so short of breath and so much panting and short of breath, he struggles to even narrate the story, or he struggles to let Lord Shiva know what happened, this and that. He's just saying, please, can please help, please sort me out. He's lost words, he doesn't have the stamina at all. And Lord Shiva tells again, everyone kind of gives up, that sorry, we cannot help you, but Lord Shiva gives him the valuable advice. So Lord Shiva says that none of us can help you out. Your resolve would be, you could save yourself by approaching Lord Narayan. So go to Lord Vishnu, go to Lord Narayan, and he will surely help you out. We all are under his will only, we all are under his power only. He rules over us. So he's our maintainer. So you better go to Lord Narayan. So exactly like such a thing happens. It shows like in this mundane world of say cinematography as well, and of cinemas as well, say someone who is in the party of, say, gangs and thieves and rogues like that, and someone within that circle itself, if he does something wrong which hurts the leader, or say hurts the inner circle, and if he takes on some valuable information or passes on some valuable information or anything on those lines, and he's trying to escape, he's trying to run away from the gang, from the group, from the leader, and say he goes in that vicinity, in that village or someone, and he says, oh, could you give me shelter? And why? Because I say dashed, or I did something wrong for the group. No one would give that man shelter. Likewise, Indradev, the leaders in the higher planetary systems, none of them are actually able to give them shelter. give Durvasa Muni shelter. And at this point, Durvasa Muni then comes to Lord Narayan, and then Krishna, he says this, Aham Bhakta Paradhino. So Durvasa Muni asks for forgiveness. Durvasa Muni prays that please forgive me for my wrongdoing. And he glorifies Lord Narayan, saying that anyone knowingly, unknowingly, or how fallen, how sinful he may be, if one chants your holy name even once, he could be freed from all the reactions of sinful life and what not. So, please, I am a soul surrendered unto you, and please help me. So now we come to the actual verse, and I've got 10 minutes left. So, and this is what Krishna says then. Interesting thing, see, we know the nature of Lord Shri Krishna to whatever extent we can actually, our consciousness allows. But Krishna is glorified as what? Namo Brahman Devaya, Go Brahmanitaya. So he holds Brahmana so dear, Krishna's. And in this case, when Lord Durvasa Muni actually approaching Krishna, Krishna isn't like saying he isn't receiving him with that welcome or no garland or asking him to have a seat, some water or this or that, nothing. Krishna's straight reply is that I'm sorry, I'm not in my capacity, this is not in my capacity as well. I'm not independent, I'm completely dependent, so I cannot help you out. Otherwise, we see when the Brahmana Sudama, he goes to visit Lord Krishna, how Krishna welcomes a Brahmana, how Krishna treats a Brahmana. When Narad Muni visits Dwarka, how Krishna treats and welcomes his devotees and Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. But in here, he's saying Dvija Brahmana, but Krishna is not doing any welcome as such for Durvasa Muni. And such is the difference. See, when Durvasa Muni manifested that demon Kritya, seeing that Ambarish Maharaj didn't take a step back. He did not take a step back. And there was no change in his facial expression as well. That he was still folding his hands and he was accepting whatever Krishna has ordained. He was accepting it fully. What is the principle or how is his surrender actually? And then Krishna says, I'm completely independent. So again, the first time throughout Bhagavatam we see that Krishna isn't much having a chance of an opportunity to glorify a Brahmana in that sense. And this is the first time we see throughout Bhagavatam, the Vedic scripture, where someone who is taking shelter of the Lord and the Lord is not able to give him protection. Otherwise, nowhere. Draupadi, she was in utter trouble. She called for Krishna and Krishna gave her full protection. Arjuna called for Krishna, Krishna gave him full protection. Even Uttara called for Krishna and Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in her womb. Wherever, everywhere, Krishna gives full protection to his devotees. And in this case, someone approaching, like in Ramayana we see when Vibhishan, he's approaching Lord Ram, and the army in Lord Ram's rank, some of them are saying, oh, why is he coming now at this point in time? What is his wanting? But Lord Ram says, no, whosoever comes to me, I will give him full protection. And not only protection, he gave him the kingdom, whole kingdom of Lanka. Without even having won the battle, he promised that I will give you. So that is the mood of Krishna. Some things like he's so Odar, so munificent in his nature, Krishna. But in here, Krishna is not protecting Durvasa Muni. Why? Because he offended a pure devotee of Krishna. We see in Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam begins, the first sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasdev, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam, says that Abhigya Swarat, in the Janmadi Asya Yata Shloka, Srila Vyasdev tells about Krishna or the personality of Godhead, or the definition of absolute reality, the definition of absolute truth. He says that Krishna is fully cognizant and fully independent. And look at the paradox in here. Krishna himself saying, "Oh, I'm not independent." What a paradox. So, Krishna himself claims in Bhagavad Gita, "I'm the source of all material and spiritual emanations." Various places, there's no truth higher than or equal to me. But here, Krishna says, "I'm sorry." So, Bhagavatam or the entire Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, full of these paradoxes. The charm of Krishna consciousness lies in its paradox. In one place, like all the devotees, they scriptures say and the devotees say Krishna is fully independent. There's no control over him. And in Krishna here is saying, I'm fully dependent. So that's the sutra or the principle Krishna is giving us. Like further on, he says, where do I reside? Where do I live? So, resides within the core of his devotees, within the core of the heart of his devotees. Sadhu bir grasta hridayo. And by sadhu or devotee, we know Krishna means someone who is free from material desires, who is absorbed of all material desires. And that is the way, the simplest, surest, easiest, quickest way actually to please Krishna or to get that bliss in devotional service is when we actually find devotees. And devotees appear in our life, that is when real divine intervention takes place. Okay, maybe before I am say, let me take this opportunity, please, and ask a question. So, the disc, Sudarshan Chakra, it did not kill the Durvasa Muni, the sage. What to speak of, say, killing, it did not even cause much of a harm as well in that sense, or injuries in that sense, physical sense. And why so? This could have easily killed Durvasa Muni then and there. Why did he let him go up and down, left and right, round and round?
Was it like a mercy offering the opportunity for him to have this strong enough desire to fully surrender and ask for protection from Krishna?
Yes, that is one of the thing. That is one of the thing, yeah. The core thing is like the devotees, they are so intelligent. So that this didn't actually want to kill Durvasa Muni because it would kind of bring a bad name or reputation to Krishna, say. That, oh, Krishna's personal associate, he killed a Brahmana. And that's not the standard thing. So, This didn't actually kill Durvasa Muni because he didn't want to kill a Brahmana. And so he was giving him that pain and that thing. And that in itself was so horrifying actually. And Krishna is helpless. He couldn't afford to help. Bearing just Ambarish Maharaj, who had no problem as such, who didn't take the offense, even though being offended, he didn't take it. And Durvasa Muni, even though being not offended, but he was so cross over it. And that is the thing. Mahaprabhu in his teachings teaches us. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Eteva Shant, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Shant. So one who is actually surrendered at the lotus feet of Krishna, he can always find peace. He can always find real peace. Peace not just in peace in his words, action, dealings throughout. And one who hasn't sought out, one who hasn't attempted to take the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, who would struggle to maintain, who would struggle to experience that transcendental peace. Though he may be living in a life of morality, but that transcendental peace experience would still be lacking. Any questions or comments, please? Or any corrections or... Yes, Prabhu.
It's a complicated question. I've had for a long time, but I think just aroused some interest in the question is there's spirit souls, whether we're aware of Krishna or not to some degrees. We have desires, there may be Krishna conscious desires or not. And Krishna, the super soul, will fulfill those desires. If we're in contact with pure devotees or devotees, do we become under the control of their desires, or do we still retain the right to have our own desires fulfilled? And as Krishna takes his position here, does Krishna favour the desires of devotees, pure devotees, over our own desires in situations where a devotee may have a desire on our behalf, and we may have a desire that's different, apparently different. How would Krishna, what position would Krishna take there? Because Krishna kind of says that he fulfills everyone's desires, but also he's indebted to his pure devotees.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a few complicated questions. So, one of the things you said is like, would Krishna supersede the desire of a pure devotee over some, say, if I may use the word, a subordinate or someone, other devotees' desires?
It's more in relation to one's own self and individuality. If Krishna will favour one's own individual desire, or would he favour another devotee's desire on behalf of that person, if say that devotee is purer or just more dearer to Krishna?
Only Krishna has the potency to reciprocate with each and everyone at an individual level. And surely Krishna means not a good expression, he doesn't do killing, but like to one of his pastime, he sends hundreds of messages, provided we have the vision to tap in those messages. So in this case, someone, a pure evolved devotee, Krishna will fulfill his desires, and the other devotees, so even his desires, Krishna will use that other devotee to purify the other devotee's desires, because provided we allow ourselves, so if we take shelter of devotees, then Krishna will use the, say, pure devotee or purified devotees as an instrument to purify further our desires. And thing is, Krishna never kills the desire in the sense, Dhruva Maharaj, when he approached Krishna, and again Dhruva Maharaj didn't know the full glory of Krishna, but yet when he approached Lord Shri Krishna, and he was a bit embarrassed, oh, please forgive me, what am I now asking for? I don't want to ask for it, please wash that thing away and things. But Krishna said, no, please take. Krishna requested, please take, because set a good precedent. Also, Krishna gave Dhruva Maharaj, but he fulfilled his desires. And with that, the Krishna purifies the devotee's heart so much, his consciousness, that he doesn't misuse of that Lakshmi or the opulence or that thing coming up. In that sense. And Krishna wouldn't give anything which is lethal or dangerous, or say poisonous to his devotee. Like in this instance itself, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna said, Mahaprabhu's teachings, Mahaprabhu says, Ama Krishna kahe ama bhaje, mage vishay sukh. Krishna says he is worshipping me, but what is he asking? He is asking for worldly enjoyment, sense enjoyment. Krishna kahe ama bhaje, mage vishay sukh. Vishay chari amrit magi ei bado murkho. Living nectar, pure nectar. He is asking for worldly sense enjoyment. That's not a good proposal. Ami vidya, kintu ami vidya ei murkha vishay kena dibo. I am learned. So why would I give? Mahaprabhu says, I am learned. Why would I give him something which is not good for him? Nija Charnamritya say Visay Udaigo. I will give him the shelter of my lotus feet or the service of my lotus feet and purify his desire. We still have the capacity, the ability, the skill set and everything, but it's putting the head in the right place for the right purpose, for the right thing. So Krishna wouldn't take away that tendency. So like say, someone may have the capacity, the inclination, the desire, ability and things around to put up a say beer factory. But if he comes across devotees and all, devotees say, we wouldn't, you have this ability, this desire, this stamina, this interest, okay, but not a beer factory. Rather open say juice or something which could be offered to Krishna, and still all your abilities and capacity are very much intact, your intelligence and everything. So Krishna would purify that desire and still give him what he wants. That doesn't hurt or harm his consciousness. If that somewhat touches your question.
Yes, it's almost like Krishna fulfills the desire, but he will either personally or from within or through the pure devotees associated with it, he'll refine those desires.
Yeah.
Is that right? And then fulfill them in a more favorable, like a more beneficial way.
Yes.
That's really nice, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. On this note, I give you a peace. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki
Jai. Sri Bhakti Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai.